Good afternoon and welcome to Leadership Live at Lunchtime, which is a masterclass on leadership positioned as a lunch and learn to help you level up your leadership and grow your potential. We are live from My Growth Academy, where our vision is kingdom standards in educational excellence. I'm a certified John Maxwell leadership speaker, coach, and trainer, and I've taken on the challenge of developing 1,000 leaders worldwide through these free masterclasses and weekly 90-minute masterclass sessions. My name is Ivan Fionn, and this is my masterclass. Before I get started, I want to ask you that you share with me in the comments below, what is your expectation of the class today? Today, we're going to look at the power of rest and achieving work-life balance. We're looking at understanding rest, the science of rest, work-life balance in finding harmony, strategies for cultivating work-life balance, and also you as a leader leading by example. If you like what you hear today and want to level up your leadership potential, skills, and impact, look out for the registration link below in this post of this weekly mastermind. And this is a premium leadership group coaching program where I take you to the next level in your leadership 90 minutes at a time. Let's go. Wonderful. Let's get going with the power of rest. I want to welcome you to this session, and I want to encourage you as a leader to take on this concept of rest as a crucial part of your leadership. Remember, if you are tired as a leader, you can't think properly, you can't function at your highest level, and you make the best decisions that you can. And so that's why I want to deal with this specific subject of rest today. I was moved to do this. I'm going to do this in this leadership session and also on my media session on Wednesday. And I think it's crucial for us as leaders to take some time now and then to pause and to rejuvenate ourselves. And I'm going to give you a lot of different strategies and tactics, and I'm going to teach today on rest and how important that is. And the reason I'm teaching on this is because that's what I did last week. As you may know, we didn't have a leadership session last week, and that was intentional. And I was taking leadership from one of my mentors called Sean Cannell from Think Media. And he actually gave his staff a week off completely. No posting, no schedule, nothing that they did that week. They took a week off as a Sabbath and just rested. And I saw that video actually just before I went on holiday myself. Now, to be honest, completely honest, I didn't completely rest. I did my certification for my John Maxwell leadership program. And so I'm going to tell a little bit of that story later on. And how does that affect us as leadership and the way that we impact people? But I want to encourage you to look at this concept of rest and deem it really important. Now, what I want to do in this session is I want to explore the significance of rest and how it ties into leadership and how it makes us better as individuals. Because remember, the concept of leadership is, yes, we're leading others, we're developing others, but it starts with growing and developing ourselves, and self-care and taking care of ourselves is crucial and important at the end of the day. Hi, Lamise, welcome. I'm honored to have you here. So let's just look at rest as a concept. Why does it matter? Rest is not just the absence of work, but it's the intentional setting aside time and booking out rest to rejuvenate yourself. Now, if you don't schedule or intentionally place times of rest for yourself, what will happen is you could burn out, which for leadership and for ministry is incredibly important. Okay, if you burn out, you have a big time, a large time to recuperate, to get yourself back on track. It's not good for leadership. It's not good for ministry. It's not good for media. It's not good for communication. And so what happens with burnout is, and not taking rest intentionally, is you always also have decreased productivity. And that means that the things that you need to achieve, you won't achieve, especially not in the time frame. Sometimes we work 14, 16-hour days. If we do it long periods of times without intentional rest in between, what happens is we realize that our 16-hour day that we're working is really an effective 4 to 6 hour day with the amount of productivity that we have. And that doesn't even mention health issues that comes across, lack of sleep, tiredness. I remember a while back, it was probably about 10, 11, 12 years ago. I was extremely tired. I didn't really sleep well. I was tired, overworked, and burned out. And I went for a meeting 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning to a local coffee shop. The person didn't show up, so I was despondent. And I remember driving back to my house. And at the intersection, just where we turn off to my house, I was so tired that I didn't notice an oncoming car. And the robot was green for me, but obviously you have to wait until the car in the opposite lane passes. And so I didn't see that. I went I went across, I T-boned the other car. It turned completely over, wrote off my car completely. And obviously, you know what the results of that would be if you have that. So what rest does, it boosts your creativity, which in my line of work is essential. I mean, we create these classes that we do on a weekly basis. We need to think creatively on how we put on events, bringing up new concepts and thinking of innovative ideas to present messages and leading people. It also boosts your problem-solving skills and just overall well-being. And let's not even talk about good decision-making. And at the end of the day, those are things that really is important for us to maintain. So with the best impact. As leaders, we got to function at our optimum best at all times. And so let me explain a concept that I'm working with. There are times that you are on, right? And that is, for instance, the sessions that I do, any coaching that I do, one-on-one perhaps, they are times when I need to, quote unquote, perform, right? Those are times when I earn my money. And so we have those times when we have to be at our absolute best, because our clients, our team members, and the organization that we serve in, they require of us to be at our best at all times. And if we have not taken intentional rest or put in periods of rest, which we'll talk about today, then we are not going to be at our best. Obviously, there's these sessions, and then there's prep and writing content and putting things together. And all those are important. But in between, we've got also put time down for us to decompress, to rest, to rejuvenate our thoughts, and we're going to explain all of those very clearly. Okay, so we want to talk about the science of rest. Okay, and understanding rest completely. Rest is not a luxury, it's a fundamental necessity for our well-being. The science behind rest reveals how our body and our brain undergo essential processes during that downtime that contribute to our overall health and functioning at the highest level. Remember, these sessions are about leveling up your leadership. And you can't level up your leadership if you put certain habits and certain things in place. And this weekend, I had the privilege of listening to the author of Atomic Habits speak. And, if we want to be our best, we need to put in good habits as leaders. And one of the habits is actually intentionally placing in periods of rest for ourselves. Like, let me ask you a question. I'm assuming that you are functioning at your highest level during the week, right? You give your 8-hour day. Maybe you have a 4-hour work week. I don't know what your context is, but you function at the highest level during those times. But what do we do when we get home? Do we go and answer emails, work on creative projects, work on our side hustles, etc.? And then what do we do on weekends? Do we actually go Saturday and sleep a little bit late? Do we actually put in downtime, watch a movie, spend time with family, which is crucial? Or do we have these projects that keep us busy all the time? Right? I understand there are seasons in our lives or periods in our lives where we have to put on weekend conferences and leadership training. I do those myself. And so in one of the leadership organizations I'm busy with, they say, listen, you need to do at least 3 of these encounters per year. And I've tried and do 1 every month, and it is exhausting. It is very, very taxing, and especially on your family, because they also need you present and engaged. And so let's dive into the fascinating mechanisms that occur when rest occurs. Okay, and I've got, I think, 8 points here that I want to share with you. The first one is cellular repair and growth. During rest, especially during periods of deep sleep, our body cells actually engage and repair and growth processes. This is when damaged cells in your body is repaired and new cells are generated. It contributes to tissue rejuvenation and overall healing. Now, if you're in a ministry context and you understand the spiritual realm, that is also crucial, but that's not what we're talking about here. But we've got to understand that we are spirit, soul, and body. And so besides soul rest and peace, we also have physical rest and healing that needs to take place. Then there's brain cleansing. The brain's lymphatic system is a waste clearance system, and it becomes more active during sleep. This process helps to clear out toxins and metabolic byproducts that accumulate during the waking hours, potentially reducing the risk of neurodegenerative disorders. So am I saying that you can actually get sick if you don't rest and sleep? Absolutely. So there's a process called memory consolidation. Excuse me. And so sleep, particularly the REM process, which is rapid eye movement, plays a crucial role in memory consolidation. It's during this time that your brain strengthens neural connections, transferring newly acquired information, and it transfers it from short-term to long-term memory. So what this speaks to is we as leaders, you know that leaders are readers, right? You know that leaders are engaged in the process of lifelong learning. And so if we want to retain the information that we gather and that we learn, we need rest and specifically sleep. So for some of us older people, you have hormone regulation. Rest, including sleep, but not just sleep, influences hormone regulation. During sleep, the body releases a growth hormone, which is essential for tissue repair and muscle growth. That's why you need periods of rest between gymming and physical activity as well. You need a lot of downtime to recover. And additionally, hormones like cortisol and melatonin follow specific patterns during sleep, impacting stress response and circadian rhythms. Then there's cognitive restoration. Rest allows the brain to recover from fatigue. Mental activities during the day deplete cognitive resources. They lead to reduced focus, Your decision-making abilities are affected. Your creativity is stifled, which in my business is crucial. It is the money spinner, if you will. So adequate rest replenishes these resources, enabling our thinking ability and performance. It reduces stress. Rest activates a parasympathetic nervous system. It's also known as the rest and digest system. This counters the effects of sympathetic nervous system. Your fight or flight response is triggered by stress. And so if you stress and you're always always have heightened senses, then you're obviously not the best person at that moment to deal with. Regular rest, therefore, helps us reduce overall stress levels and promotes emotional well-being. It also affects your immune system. So it supports the immune system because during rest, the immune system functions optimally. Adequate sleep, in particular, enhances immune responses, aiding in the body's ability to fight off infections and maintain overall health, especially mental health. I cannot emphasize it enough on how important this is for your mental health. So rest isn't just about taking breaks. It's about allowing your body and your brain to undergo essential processes that contribute to physical, mental, and emotional well-being. If we understand the science behind rest, we can appreciate its profound impact on our overall quality of life. And not just our life, but also the level of our leadership. Prioritizing rest is not only wise, but it's also a fundamental step to leading a healthier, more productive life and being a better leader. So let's talk about, I want to highlight 3 things quickly, just as a reminder. I want to talk about sleep, its impact on our cognitive functions, etc., etc. So we spoke about cognitive functions. Rest sharpens your mental acuity. Sleep, the brain goes through different stages, including deep sleep and rapid eye movement. And these stages are crucial for various cognitive functions. Deep sleep is associated with brainwave patterns that helps restore energy levels and physical recovery. It promotes it. It's essential for waking up feeling refreshed and alert. Now, if you're like me and you're chasing purpose and you're going for vision and you're on a mission, you need to be fresh in the morning. You need to be fresh at all times, basically. And REM sleep and vivid dreams play a pivotal role in enhancing problem-solving skills, creative thinking, and overall flexibility of your mind. It has memory consolidation, and we spoke about how it transforms or transfers short-term to long-term memory. Emotional regulation, we also looked at that, but I want to now just talk about, in a fast-paced world where sleep is often taking a back seat, it's crucial and important that we recognize cutting corners with sleep and rest has a lot of very important consequences. I already shared with you the consequences that it had for me when I took a meeting 5:30 in the morning and I was tired. I didn't look after myself and the impact that it had, not just on my traveling ability, but also on our finances and also on our family life. Okay. And so Lamise says, Sundays we have committed to being our rest day. Day of the Lord and family, absolutely. And so in our circles, those are important. And so thank you for this encouragement, Lamise. Very important topic and content that you're covering. And so this is all about leadership. And let's talk about the consequences. Impaired mental ability. Okay, sleep deprivation hampers your attention, concentration, and problem-solving abilities. And let's be honest, in leadership and working in this environment, we often have to deal with conflict and we have to manage people's emotions and their personalities. And we're constantly playing a game of chess, which is not a bad thing. It's a good thing, especially if you can master the moves really well. You'll have an optimum team if you can do that. But if we are sleep deprived or rest deprived, then we can concentrate, we can't function really well. And so leveling up our leadership is about performing optimally on the base of where we are. So if you can't think properly, it reduces your capacity to think creatively as well, which I mentioned already is very important in my field. You'll have memory lapses. So it's very important that you remember things, right? And so insufficient sleep can lead to forgetfulness, difficulty in remembering important details. I have had instances where I forgot important meetings. I remember once I had a meeting in Limpopo. This is a crucial, important meeting for my career. I had to meet with a key individual which is going to open up doors for me. And so the first time I moved the meeting because I couldn't go, and luckily I did that on Monday. But the next week or the week after that, I had a meeting in Limpopo on Thursday at 2:00. And I think 5 minutes past 2, the person who organized the meeting for me, which I was honored to have, and I was honored for this person to have made room for me, called me or messaged me and said, "Are you coming?" And I said, "Oh my goodness, I forgot." And needless to say that I will not get an opportunity for that meeting again. So I hope that illustrates how important this is. And at the end of the day, but also hinders your learning ability. And lastly, emotional vulnerability. Okay. Lack of sleep is associated with increased emotional volatility. I'm using that word very, very intentionally because it's that strong. There's mood swings and a high likelihood of crucial. And so let me share with you what happened with me. I was going intentionally on holiday last week, but I had a leadership conference that I was attending. So it started Sunday night at 10, I think at 10:30, finishes at 12, and I had another session I attended Monday morning at 2:00 in the morning, 2 a.m. that I finished. I had 4 hours sleep, woke up at 6:00, took my kids to school, got ready for a holiday, packed, etc., etc. Drove an hour to the resort, and then as soon as I arrived there, I had to take my laptop out and go and sit near the kiosk where the Wi-Fi was, and I had to attend my first session. I wasn't finished until 11:00 at night. Now, I honestly don't know how I could stop that or not do it, because the only next certification was happening in March. And so I had to do it. But what was the result of that? I remember very clearly on that day, I was snippy with my children. I had mood swings with my wife. And so that is a good example of not looking after yourself and not intentionally putting rest in place can have for you. To prioritize sleep and harness its benefits for cognitive and mental functions, memory consolidation, and emotional regulation, what we can do is to consider adopting healthy sleep hygiene practices. Okay, so this is clean and proper sleep practices. So number one, have a consistent sleep schedule. So for me, it's 10:00, I'm going to bed. And often people want to binge watch. People in my home are binge watching series. And I'm like, watch, I don't care if I miss it, but I'm going to sleep at 10. And we wake up at 5 in the morning and we start our morning routine. Those things are important for me, because if I go to sleep today at 8:00 and tomorrow go to bed at 11:12 and the next day at 9, your body just gets out of sync. And that's just how it is. Okay, and even on weekends, we also try to do that. You want to create a sleep-inducing environment. So for me, it's just a dark room. Okay, any light triggers and keeps me awake. And also, obviously, it needs to be quiet. And so I remember about 2-3 days ago, We unfortunately had to go put to sleep one of our dogs, and the other dog didn't have his friend with him, and so the first night, scratching on the door and crying, and it doesn't really bark, but it was really kept me out of my sleep. So we want to control this environment to make sure that these things don't happen. Then, very importantly, limit screen time. I thought that, sitting on the couch and going through my phone, going through my messages and Facebook and all those kind of things. For other people, it might be relaxing, it might be their downtime and off times. But for me, it's also work, because messaging is part of my business, and media and social media is also part of my business. So I'm constantly thinking about, how does strategy work? How does this message come across, etc., etc. And I evaluate everything that I'm looking at. And so, let's be honest, my mind is working. And so at certain points, I'm like, I'm going to switch this off. I'm going to take it away. I'm actually sometimes put it in my cupboard, switch it off. And that's the best way that I know that I'm actually going to rest. Mindful relaxation are techniques where you do deep breathing or meditation before you sleep. Some things that I picked up, there's an app that really helped me just with my discipline and my habits, called Self. I highly recommend you go and download it. They are going to push you into a premium product where you pay for it. You don't have to do that. It's still good just working it like that, but it really helps you with foods and habits and all those kind of things. And so things that I learned from there is setting expectations, because before I start working, doing a daily review at the end of the day for about half an hour, 15 minutes, just looking through my day and asking questions like, what could I have done better? What did I master? What did I do well today? What could I have done better? How can I change tomorrow? Just small things that help you really get better. But a big part of that is relaxation and reflection. And we did some of that in our master classes before. And then obviously physical activity. Must be honest, it's not something that I'm really paying attention to, but I've heard that, keeping yourself active is a good thing. So let's talk about the benefits of short breaks during the day to maintain focus and prevent mental fatigue. Okay, in our fast-paced and demanding work environments, it's easy to fall in the trap of continuous work, busyness, and forgetting or intentionally not taking a pause because we want to keep the momentum. That's something that I fool myself with sometimes. I'm like, I have momentum right now. I can't take lunch. I can't take a break. I have to keep on going. And so research shows that integrating regular short breaks into our day can significantly enhance our productivity, focus, and overall well-being, including mental health. It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? Because for me, I was thinking, listen, if I keep going, I'm more productive. But you're actually more productive if you actually take breaks. So we're going to give you some methods just now that you can use to actually get the best out of yourself. And so here are some tips. When you take micro breaks, what happens is you have renewed focus and concentration. Unfortunately, our brains have limited attention spans. Okay, so continuous focus on a task or extended period of time can lead to what we call attention fatigue. And your performance actually declines. I've shared just now, sometimes we work 14, 16-hour days, and you're actually not more productive that way. You're actually less productive. And your 8-hour day becomes a 4-hour or 6-hour productivity day. And but short breaks, even if it's just a few minutes, can allow our brain to reset. I love that word, just reset. If things get crazy for me or things get out of control, I just take a pause, I reset, I go back to what is the objective here, what do we want to reach, how do I get there, quickly set new goals, milestones, and then refocus. When I return to the task after a break, my focus and concentration levels are rejuvenated, and leads to improved efficiency and quality of work. Okay, so short breaks gives you improved creativity and problem solving. Improved creativity is a very important element in my work. So sometimes stepping away from a task provides your mind with an opportunity to shift perspective. Sometimes you get to the task again and you've got a fresh perspective or a fresh mindset when you enter it. This mental shift can spark new ideas, insights, and give you creative solutions to challenges that you might be facing. Now, short breaks also encourage incubation. This is actually a cognitive mental process where our brain continues to work on a problem in the background, leading to new innovative breakthroughs. And I can attest to this because I've seen this before. You get enhanced productivity and efficiency. As I said, it's counterintuitive, but it boosts your creativity and your productivity. Regular short breaks prevents mental fatigue. It gives us the ability to maintain high levels of concentration and consistency. Working in short focused bursts with breaks in betweens, we often accomplish more in less time compared to continual work without breaks. It reduces stress and increases our well-being. Mental fatigue can lead to increased stress levels and decrease your job satisfaction. In other words, if you don't rest, you will probably get unhappy. And so just a few minutes from now, I'm going to talk about what do people and organizations do to actually enhance job satisfaction and promote work-life balance. Engage in activities you enjoy during breaks. Not on your phone. Go outside, get sunshine, breathe in fresh air, stretch, walk. Practicing mindfulness can actually help reduce your stress. It also, short breaks prevents decision fatigue. As the day goes on, our ability to make decisions can become impaired because of decision fatigue and can lead to poor judgment, decision making, and suboptimal choices. Have you ever found yourself that you're great at the beginning of the day, but here by 1, 2 o'clock, the engine starts missing revs and your amps go lower? And this is because you're not taking breaks. And then obviously short breaks is important for your physical well-being. We spoke about that, but it also enhances your work-life balance. So incorporating regular breaks promotes a healthier life. It reminds us to step away from our work and engage in activities that nurture our personal lives. Take a break, go and speak to a friend, do a call, engage with someone. There's lots of things that's really going to help you here, but just going away from the activity and talking about and engaging in something completely different. So incorporating short breaks effectively requires mindful planning. It means intentionally looking at your breaks and your rest. And so here are some things that you can do. You can use the Pomodoro technique, where you work for 25 minutes, focused periods of 25 minutes with 5-minute breaks. But after completing 4 of these, you take a 15 to 30-minute break. This is usually where your lunchtime or your tea time will work. You could tailor your breaks to tasks. Adjust the length of your breaks based on the complexity of the tasks that you need to achieve. Obviously, more demanding tasks might benefit from slightly longer breaks. Remember that the key is to make these breaks intentional and not simply fill them with additional tasks or distractions. Embrace the idea that regular, purposeful breaks are not a hindrance to productivity, but a powerful strategy to maintain your focus, prevent mental fatigue, and ultimately lead better overall performance and well-being, leading better as leaders. If you like what you hear today and want to level up your leadership potential, skills, and impact, look out for the registration link below in this post for my weekly mastermind. This is a premium leadership group coaching program where I take you to the next level in your leadership 90 minutes at a time. Let's look at work-life balance and finding harmony in it. Okay, so here we want to balance our responsibilities. Work-life balance is the delicate harmony individuals effectively manage their professional responsibilities and personal well-being. It represents a state of equilibrium where the demands of work are met without sacrificing the quality of your personal life, and also vice versa. This balance acknowledges that both work and personal life are integral components of an individual's overall happiness and success. The concept recognizes that dedicating excessive time and energy solely to work can lead to burnout, which we discussed, diminished well-being, and strained relationships, I'll have you know. Conversely, neglecting one's professional responsibilities can impede career growth and financial stability. So you want to achieve work-life balance, and this entails consciously allocating time, energy, and attention to various aspects. So what are these aspects? There are professional commitments where you need to fulfill responsibilities effectively and efficiently, contributing to the organization's goals and meeting performance expectations, and engaging in professional development, like what you're doing now, and continuous learning to enhance skills and expertise. Then it also speaks about personal commitments. Nurturing personal relationships with family, friends, and loved ones. Engaging in hobbies, things that you're interested in, activities that bring you joy and relaxation. And we've learned that if your job is equal to interest and bring you joy, that's a really great environment to be in. But take care of your physical, mental, and emotional well-being through self-care practices, and we've shared those with you before. Next, we want to look at your emotional and mental health. Managing your stress and preventing burnout by setting boundaries and practicing stress relief exercises. You want to prioritize time for relaxation, reflection, and rejuvenation to maintain your emotional balance. Flexibility and adaptability. You need to recognize that the balance may shift based on life circumstances, such as family needs, career transitions, and personal growth. Being open to adjustments and embracing flexibility to navigate changing demands effectively. And then we're looking at long-term sustainability. Focusing on sustainability by avoiding the extremes of overworking or neglecting professional responsibilities. You want to strive for a balanced approach that supports a sustainable, healthy lifestyle over the long term. I want to share with you some statistics. Okay, these are just interesting, and I've got a couple here. I'm just going to highlight a few of them that shows the positive effects of a balanced life. It increases job satisfaction, reduces stress, and overall happiness is enhanced. So don't zone out. This is just for interests, and it's not to convince you, it's just to share with you some interesting things. A survey by the American Psychological Association found that employees who reported good work-life balance were more likely to have job satisfaction that is high and lower levels of stress. Okay, let's talk about reduced stress. A study published in the Journal of Vocational Behavior found that employees with a higher work-life balance reported lower levels of stress and greater psychological well-being. And then let's talk about overall happiness. I love these guys. Gallup Strengths Finder, a Gallup study found that individuals who felt they had good work-life balance were more likely to report higher levels of overall life satisfaction. So it's important to note that the positive effects of work-life balance are not only limited to individuals, but also the broader impact on organizations. Companies and teams that prioritize work-life balance are more likely to have higher employee and team retention rates. You reduce absenteeism and increase employee engagement. Let's talk about navigating work-life balance and the technological impact and FOMO. Let's talk about that as well. So, technology's role in blurring boundaries. The challenge that we have here is that the convenience of technology has led to a blurring of boundaries between work and personal life, right? So we find ourselves answering messages at night and our personal time and also emails. Constant connectivity through smartphones and email can result in a never-ending workday. So you have to put in boundaries with your technology and what you're working with, because the impact of this is that your constant availability can lead to stress, burnout, and a sense of never truly being off the clock. So here are some strategies that you can use. Set clear boundaries. Establish perfect or specific work hours for yourself, even when you're working from home like I do, and communicate them to colleagues and supervisors. Use email auto-response messages when you're off work. You can do this with your WhatsApps and your phone as well. You want to designate device-free zones like the table. We have a rule, no phones at the table. Designate certain areas, allowing yourself practice a digital detox. Regularly disconnect from digital devices for set periods like evenings or weekends, and obviously also on holidays, and any periods of rest that we're discussing here. Then let's talk about FOMO. FOMO is the anxiety that stems from fear of missing out on social events, opportunities, or experiences due to commitments or choices. The impact of this is that FOMO can lead to overcommitting, spreading yourself too thin, and sacrificing personal time. What you can do here is the following. You can prioritize and evaluate. Prioritize activities that align with your values and your goals. Evaluate opportunities based on their time, their true importance and impact for your well-being. Practice mindful decision-making. Before saying yes to something, take a moment to consider its potential effects on your time, your energy, and your personal life, and make intentional choices. And then set realistic expectations. Recognize that you can't do everything at once. You can't be everything to everybody. Embrace the idea that choosing some opportunities means missing out on others, and that's okay. And lastly, let's talk about flexibility and remote work challenges. Challenge here is that remote work and flexible schedules, while offering benefits, can lead to difficulty in separating work from personal life, especially when the lines are blurred. And I'm finding that a lot. The impact of this is you're constantly available, and it can erode the boundaries needed for proper rest and personal time. So what you can do here is have an established, dedicated workspace. Here where I am right now is my dedicated workspace. It's a room in the house where if I sit here, I'm working and people know that. But if I want to disconnect and be in my space where I spend time with family and engage with them and have my time where I disconnect, decompress, I am outside of this room. So that's really effective at the end of the day. Create a routine. You want to establish a daily routine that includes set work hours, dedicated breaks, as we discussed, to maintain structure and prevent work from spilling into your personal life. And you want to communicate these boundaries as well. Communicate your availability to colleagues and supervisors when working remotely. Let's look now at strategies for work-life balance. I want to encourage you to set clear boundaries. We've discussed and taught on that already. You want to delineate your work hours and personal time. It's important for you to unplug, disconnect from devices, your laptop, and screens that have anything to do with work. Okay. If you like what you hear today, want to level up your leadership potential, skills, and impact, look out for the registration link below for my weekly mastermind. This is a premium leadership group coaching program where I take you to the next level in your leadership, 90 minutes at a time. Let's talk about you as a leader leading by example. I want to emphasize the role of you as a leader promoting work-life balance within your teams and organizations. I shared with you already what Sean Carroll did a week or two ago. Gave his entire team off for a week and said it's not going to affect your leave days. It's not going to affect your pay. I am telling you, go and rest. And apparently that's been a great exercise for them. Leaders who prioritize their well-being set a positive example for their employees. So it's okay for you as a leader. I always thought that, listen, if people don't always see me working, I'm setting a bad example and I have bad results. But I think I get a lot more respect by saying, guys, I'm going on holiday next week, or I'm taking 3 days off. What I did with my team, especially when we had media weekends, I'd say Mondays, you are required to take off, go and rest. And so if we had conferences Friday and Saturday, then Sunday they have rest, especially if we work Sunday, Monday is off. And so you got to lead by example here. And so I want to share with you anecdotes and case studies of companies with successful work-life balance initiatives. And I've got a couple here. I've got about 6, but I'm going to share with you maybe 2 or 3. Okay, so Google is very well known for a great working environment, and they've been a pioneer in offering flexible work options. They provide the employees with the freedom to manage their schedules. They can work remotely, and they even dedicate a certain percentage of their time to personal projects. Isn't that amazing? This approach promotes autonomy and helps employees find their own optimal work-life balance. Let's talk about HubSpot. HubSpot is an online marketing company. And so they have an initiative called Unlimited Vacation Policy. So what they do is they offer an unlimited vacation time. It sounds counterintuitive, but what this policy encourages is the employees to take time off when they need it without feeling guilty. And the trust-based approach here has led to improved employee morale, healthier work-life balance, retention of team members, and obviously overall just increased productivity. And so IBM, we know them as a computer and tech company. So they introduced the results-only work environment. So they allow employees to focus on outcomes rather than hours worked. This initiative empowers the employees and the team members to manage their own schedules and work from locations that best suit them. So if you like working from a coffee shop, do that. If you like working from home, and this approach has led to increased job satisfaction and productivity. And so that's really, really amazing. And so right now, I want to give you an opportunity to share with me your tips. Do you have anything that you want to share with me? Even you're watching the replay, that'll really be great. Or if you have any questions, post them in the comments below. I'd really appreciate that from you. And so let's quickly go through what did we look at today. While you are asking your questions in the comment section, don't just ask questions. If you don't have any questions, then just post for me, what is the takeaway that you're taking away today? What's the one takeaway that you're taking away from this lesson today? I'd really appreciate that. So we looked at the power of rest and achieving work-life balance by understanding rest. We looked at the science of rest. We looked at work-life balance and finding a harmony between that. I gave you some strategies for cultivating that work-life balance. And we spoke about leadership being leading by example. And so you want to also lead by example in terms of rest and the balance that you have between them. So thank you so much for watching. Post your comments in the comments below. I'd really appreciate that. If you have any questions, post them as well. And so your comments could be, what did you learn today? And finally, again, what you today want to learn leadership potential, skills, and impact, look for the registration link in this post. for my weekly mastermind. This is a premium leadership group coaching program where I take you to the next level in your leadership, 90 minutes at a time. Thank you so much for spending time with me. It's been a good 50 minutes. I intended only to be 20 to 30 minutes, but hey, we've got a lot of stuff to go through, and I believe that it's been valuable for you to go through that. Thank you for spending time with me. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in one of my master classes. Have a fantastic week.